My name is Brianna, and I welcome you to the Tales of Adventure, a D&D podcast like no other.
My name is Naomi Ream. I play Sandra Bullorc, a mean but tender-hearted, as we progress in the podcast, half-orc paladin. She is such a wonderful character. There's so much more to be learned about her as we approach our second arc of the podcast. The podcast is We Suck at D&D. And I think there's a lot of truth to it, but as you guys follow, you realize that we are all in it together and learning, trying to be a little bit better. Most of us in the podcast are very new to D&D. I think Kaylee Bourne, our Mora Hill, our beautiful dwarf, this is her very first campaign, I believe. And so it's fun to kind of figure out how we can use our knowledge to have a really decent campaign. And so far, we've really been enjoying it. We love the traction and the support that we've been getting. And the main thing is, it's always great to just be able to spend time with each other, especially during this pandemic. And thankfully to technology and meeting services, we are able to still see each other amidst all this chaos in the world. So it came at a pretty good time.
Are you alright there? You look a little lost in thought.
Aren't we all lost in thought these days?
It's true. Care if I join you?
Not at all. Why not?
You seem like you've got a lot on your mind.
When you've seen the things that I've seen, madam, you would have a lot on your mind as well.
Would you like to talk about it? Might help you process things.
It's hard for me to open up. To be honest, I think you might have catch me at a good time. This is my fourth mead. Reminds me of my home planet. And better talk to you than my companions at the moment.
Are they not the best listeners?
It's not that they're not the best listeners. Takes a while for me to trust people, and I'm so focused on our mission, and they don't seem as focused as I am, but maybe I'm misunderstanding them. But I have my grievances. It's hard when you have a love-hate relationship with your companions, because, for example, Dell drives me up the wall, this half android, southern talking Lone Star character. He just doesn't seem like he cares, but yet he will do anything for us. And maybe I was too harsh on him in the beginning, and now I don't know if I can stop at this point.
Some people handle things differently. Also, this may sound like a rather strange question. You're not from this time, are you?
Oh, I'm surprised that you would say that. What gave it away?
I'm a bit of a world wanderer myself. My name is Estrada, by the way, and I'm good at noticing things. There are just some of the demeanor and the way you carry yourself, and I sensed some strange magical something or other going on in this area, and it started acting up recently, and I had to come investigate.
Well, Hisa, my name is Sandra. Nice to meet you. You're most welcome here. Well, maybe I'm the one who should feel a little bit more welcome. You're right. I feel like I don't belong here.
How did you end up here, though? It's not easy to travel through time.
Well, I was sent on a mission to investigate the void, and ever since we were first pulled in, now I don't know what is up or down. I don't know which way's left or right, and we just got pulled in and we traveled to a planet not from the same time, and now we're here stuck in the in between, and we don't know what's next, and I just needed to break away so I can prepare myself for the next chapter I think that we're forced into going into.
Sounds like it's been a rather rough time indeed. What can you tell me about this void?
We don't know much about the void. We know that it showed up in our static system. That's where we're from, and all of us from different planets. We went into the academy. The academy is in charge of, uh, we're in charge of making sure that there's good research in planetary defenses, and we got selected to do the research on the void, and then before we know it, we were sucked in on an adventure I don't think any of us asked for.
Not many people do ask for the adventures they get dragged into, unfortunately, but it's good to see you're still alive. Getting sucked into a void usually doesn't end well.
You know, we barely made it out alive. I mean, man, Lone Star was traumatizing, and I don't think anything in the academy prepared us for this. You must pardon me. I'm not so open. I think it is the alcohol.
It's probably a combination of that, and people tend to trust me more than they trust others.
I would have to agree. Hopefully I never see you after this.
Well, tell me more about your friends that you're traveling with. You mentioned one's in Earth Android, I think?
Yeah, Dell Hewlett-Packard. I appreciate his vigor for his family and his past. When we went to Lone Star, we ended up learning so much about him and where he comes from, and the wars that really created him. And he is a no-nonsense cowboy, and he sure loves his guns. If there's anything that man loves, it is his guns. I'm sure if you were to meet him, the first thing he would do is show you his guns.
Probably. We shall see.
And then there is Cal. Cal is our feline humanoid. I forget the race that he's actually called. I try not to know too much about them.
But they have tabaxi in this world.
That's it. That is Tabaxi. Exactly. I don't trust him. It's hard for me to trust him. I think he's an important member, but there's some things we found out about him that causes me not to trust him, and I'd tell you his business, but maybe it's not meant for me. But sometimes people aren't who they say they are. And for me, I don't I'm never not transparent about my feelings, maybe not my history, but I just feel like there's more to his story that I don't know if I'm going to like, but I need him right now. We all need him right now. We all need each other. And maybe that's why it brings me here, because I have to let go of all of my suspicions for us to survive.
You mentioned multiple times you have trouble trusting. Is there a story behind that? What happened?
Well, when I was younger, my father passed. He died tragically trying to save our village from a pandemic, and I closed myself off, I think, after that, and everything became about the academy after he passed.
Are you afraid if you let someone in, you will lose them as well?
Oh, Isra, you seem too smart and keen on my feelings. I think you nailed it right on the head. If I let any of these people in and lose them, we almost lost our dwarf once, and I didn't know her for very long, and it scared me.
There's nothing wrong with caring about people.
You're right. There isn't, but I think it's still going to take me some time. So you said that you were a traveler of sorts. What brings you here to the in-between?
Oh, like I said, I noticed there was some sort of time distortion, and those can get really tricky and really messy, so I figured I would come and check to figure out what's going on. And I've also heard of a void in the world, but I could never track down exactly where it was.
We don't know much about the void either, but you're right. There's a lot of time being broken. It almost makes you lose sense of who you are, but I think I think maybe it's all happening for a reason. I just want to bring good news back to my home planet and hopefully continue my father's work, and all of this seems like a big giant distraction now. I thought that I was going to be able to do that going into the academy, but now it seems like my goals are farther away than they were in the beginning.
Perhaps maybe you find a new way to reach those goals. What did your father do?
My father was a botanist. He collected plants from different planets. He made concoctions, and we studied and spent hours and hours per day inside the greenhouse trying to figure out what different plants did for different medicines. That's what I went into the academy for medicine. And when he passed, I had a mentor named Quinn. God, I miss her. I didn't have anybody to lean on until she found that I was interested in plants, and she helped me get into the academy, and she helped me kind of keep true to keep true to my father's work, and hopefully I can continue it after this mission. I'm on a search to try to figure out what happened and how he died. I know he died from a disease. I just don't know where it came from. And I never want to see it back at Moonbright, my village.
That's rough, but a very worthy goal. I'm sorry that you lost him in such a terrible way. Do you have any other family?
None worth talking about. I didn't know my mother very much. She left when I was young, and the only family I really know are or was my father and my mentor. And if you consider my new companion's family, they're probably the closest I have right now.
Often adventure forms some rather strange families.
I think
There's
so.
no doubt the bonds are strong.
Well, once you have to fight a crazy man inside of a crazy robot, I'm pretty sure you become close. What do they say? Brothers by trauma?
Something like that. Also, a crazy man and a robot? Was it like a suit he was wearing, or?
No, his consciousness just went into this crazy robot that had three faces, and each face was more menacing than the last. And it took all we had to defeat him. And even one of their faces like spit fire, and I don't like fire very much. I'm more of a water person. In my own village, we lived right by the coast, and it was definitely a challenge trying to fight that I forget what Dell called it. He called it like a autopod or something like that. Man, this alcohol is strong. I can't remember anything.
It could also be your brain trying to block out the extreme weirdness you've been going through.
It was very weird. We were thrust into the past and into Dell's s- big past. He wasn't even born yet at the time when we went to Lone Star, but yet he felt like he belonged there. Everybody seems like they feel so comfortable with where they're at or so brave, and I think I act brave, but it still scares me all the same. I don't like not knowing what I'm going into, and being thrust back in time to Lone Star really rocked my sense of being.
I imagine it was rough for your friends as well. They maybe just putting on the same face you are.
I haven't asked. I wouldn't know.
So it's a good thing to talk about. Help everyone clear their heads.
Maybe it'll be a long time before they get to know anything about me, though. I like to keep my cards close to my chest.
It's understandable, but perhaps one day you'll feel comfortable enough to open up.
I think so. I think I will one day, but that seems like a long day from now, and many, many more meads and ales before that happens.
It is easier to open up when you're a little drunk. I can agree to that.
Speaking of which, are you not drinking?
Oh, haven't decided what I want yet.
May I treat you to a drink? You've sat here and listened to me for more than anyone's listened to me in the past few months, so may I get you a drink?
That would be lovely, thank you.
What are you having?
I'll have a mead. I'm also curious to know more about this academy.
The Academy is our static system's best and finest. You can go into different... Oh, oh, here's the mead. Here it is. Bring it, and cheers. Cheers to time.
Time and trying to keep it from shattering again.
What was that?
Nothing, don't worry about it.
Oh, wow, the Academy. So their static system's finest and brightest get sent to the Academy for training. You can be a navigator. You can be a enforcer, or you can be in medicine and biology, which is what I went into. Obviously, with my past, I thought that was the best for me, and I was interested in it. And you don't see very many half-orcs there. Most of them go to become a fighter or an enforcer, but that wasn't for me. Once you graduate from the Academy, then you get sent on your first mission, and what a first mission we were sent on.
For sure. But just imagine the stories you'll be able to tell when you get back, and perhaps you can still find ways to practice your botany, picking up things from the past, seeing how this weird time distortion stuff is affecting things.
That's the goal. I think I went on this first mission expecting something different, and now this experience has proven to be a lot more than I asked for, and it feels like we've all been here over and over and over again, and I just can't really seem to pinpoint my dissettlement, but it feels like we're stuck in a loop. It feels like my soul is stuck in a loop, and I'm not so used to being dissettled.
It's an interesting theory that you're stuck in a loop. Time weirdness going on, that is a possibility, but makes you wonder why. Stuff like this doesn't often just happen. There's usually a reason behind it.
Not that we know of yet. Apparently, we're supposed to be looking for objects within the void. We met this man named Mordecai, and he seemed like he knew us, but I've never seen him before. He told us that he's seen us before, but I have no recollection of it. And what he told us was surprising about us being stuck in a constant loop. And are we always failing? And what will it take us to succeed? I don't know. It's a very long story, and it just causes me to feel like I don't know as much as I used to before. I don't want to be stuck in a loop if that's what we're indeed stuck in a loop. I want to progress. I want to finish my mission. I don't want to be stuck in the next 100 to 500 years doing the same thing. But who knows if that's what's really happening? We don't. We just learned about all of this recently, and it's just a lot. It's a lot to contemplate.
The way I see it is, if there was someone who put you in this loop, I hope you get to punch him in the face at some point, because that's just very frustrating.
Oh, punching people in the face. Now that's my kind of language.
But also, I don't think they would have put your particular group in the loop over others if they didn't think there's some way you could accomplish whatever their goal was in creating the loop. I hate time travel.
I'm starting to hate time travel as well. This is the first time I've ever done it, and I didn't think it was possible in our system, but apparently it is. And I'm a lucky half orc who has been enjoying the journey.
Yes, there's far more possible in the universe than most people would be comfortable with knowing.
You seem like you know a lot about the matter. None of this seems to shock you.
I've been around for a very long time, and I've seen multiple worlds in different realities. After a while, the shock wears off, but this is still rather curious.
You're telling me it's curious for me too, madam. Curious for me too. It reminds me of times back in Moonbright where we had no idea what we were looking at. Sometimes me and my father would have different plants delivered to us, and it was always a new world when we got to look underneath the microscope at these and see how things were created and the different genetics of each plant. And at least I could study it, but now I feel like the more we look into our situation, the more confused we are.
I have a feeling it will be like that for a while, because what you're looking at, it's a tad bit more complex than a plant.
I wish things were just as simple as plants and medicine. All those seem so simple now compared to what we're dealing with.
Oh, if that were what's true, though people would use it fairly quickly, get bored and wish things were more complicated, and then, yeah, it's a back and forth thing. But in time, once you start gaining more information, perhaps things will start to make more sense.
That's what I'm hoping, and I hope that we're all strong enough to handle it. I mean, we're more prepared now than we were before to handle it, and especially after Lone Star, I can't imagine things getting much worse.
I hope that is true.
Me
Have
too.
you thought about what you might do whenever you get home after all of this?
Oh, when I get home, the first thing I'm going to do is rebuild my father's greenhouse and set up my own apothecary and my own medicine shop. And hopefully, I could rid diseases from the village that, they sponsored me to come to the academy. They ended up all getting together and having a commune to send me to the academy. So the first thing I get back is hopefully I can bring back riches and treasures to help Moonbright and set up shop and become the local physician there, just like my father would have wanted. It's hard for people in my village to trust half orcs. I don't know why, but maybe it's just because of the way I look.
People tend to have very silly stigmas over things, but they'll get over it in time.
Oh, I'm sure they will. And if they don't, either way, once I set up business, I'll be able to give back the way that they gave back to me.
It's a very humble goal, but I find it rather beautiful.
Oh, don't tell my companions that. They'll think I've gone soft. And they must never know I've gone soft.
What's wrong with showing them that you're capable of so much kindness?
When you show too much kindness in this world, then you tend to get hurt more. And I would rather them feel safe with me and that I will always fight instead of being soft. I'll leave that to the others. But for now, I want to show strength and strong demeanor that was taught to me. And until I feel like drinking as much as I have tonight and opening up, I hope they never know.
Do you really think that they will harm you or hold your kindness against you?
Not sure about that one. Maybe I'm too focused on what they think of me for me to really give them their own thoughts.
And oftentimes, people can surprise you, especially people who you've been through trauma and traveled through time with.
That's true. Maybe I'll take your advice and open up a little bit more. I don't know. It's hard when you haven't had somebody to open up to in a very long time.
Perhaps this can be sort of a practice.
Practice, study. That sounds like my cup of tea. But in this case, my cup of mead.
Where are you and your friends planning on going now?
We don't know. So far, our ship's being prepared. We're gathering our rest. And who knows where we're going. There might be mentions of us going to my home planet, Atera, but we were warned that it might not be the same that I remember, and that terrifies me.
It is still your home. It's not the same as when it is going to be your hate time travel. You know what I mean.
Well, so far we went back to Lone Star and Dell didn't recognize anything around him. I'm afraid when we go back to my planet, I won't recognize anything around me, and nothing will make me even more dissettled because I miss home. I haven't been there in a few years, and it would break my heart. It would break my heart to see if things have changed. I don't know if I'm ready for something like that.
Things have changed. You've just gone backwards. It's not your home yet. Still has some growing to do.
We actually don't know what time we're going to land in. Based on what we've learned over the past few months is that we can be thrown anywhere and anytime, any realm, any reality, and what we were warned that we might not be in the same reality as the one that we existed, and I don't know how to process that.
I don't know either, honestly, other than it probably involves more alcohol.
As long as it involves more alcohol, I'm in. Hopefully, whatever Atera we go to, they have my favorite drink, which is it's a mint mead that is only made on Atera. This mead here in this tavern, it does the job, but it's not like the mint mead we have back home. My father always added a couple extra things into it too, he let me drink a little early too. He let me drink when I was a little too young, but that's what we would do. We would drink a little bit and work on some plans, and he would always add new spices and wheats into the mead.
Sounds lovely. It's now I really want to try that.
Maybe one day we'll run into each other, and I will gladly have you at my table to drink, as long as you promise not to tell the others of what I've said tonight.
Oh, no, of course not. Never.
Good.
Yeah, so it's good to know that whatever you face in the future, you will have your friends with you. Future or the past.
Friends. I wonder if I'm ready to call them that yet. Maybe I should think about that more.
Knows, perhaps the idea may grow on you.
With friends in general, that idea may take a while to grow on me.
In general, maybe, but perhaps it will be easier with these. Friends are never going to be perfect, and sometimes they're going to make you want to pull your hair out. But they're good to have. They're the people that you know you can rely on when push comes to shove.
Well, I know that I can trust my companions to help us get out of situations, and maybe I'll open up to them. Thank you for this. It might have changed my outlook.
I think with what all you've been through and the fact that you're hurling through the unknown with nothing but each other, you're going to have to trust each other. You're all you've got. It might be a long time before you get back to your home.
I hope what you say is true, and I hope you saying that me not going home for a long time is untrue. I miss Atera. I miss it so much. I ache for it. I miss the blue-green trees and the colorful corals, and I miss the night sky. There was this place that me and my father used to go to collect plants at night. There's some plants in Atera that you can only see at night for they glow. And when we would go on those adventures, you would see the entirety of the static system right above you and all the stardust. And those are the things that I miss. I miss the animal life, the koi fish there too. I miss them. I used to have a koi fish pond, and they glowed with these luminescent colors. And I think about the tranquility of Atera most often in this chaos.
Sounds like you have something truly lovely to look forward to.
I look forward to it every day, but I must finish my mission. There is nothing more important to me right now than finishing the mission so I can go back home. No matter how crazy this mission seems, it is still my mission, and I am dedicated to it.
Maybe your mission parameters have changed with everything. Find out what's causing the loop and find out how you can get home.
Yeah.
May seem like a slim chance, but as long as there is a chance, what's the harm in trying?
Well, I didn't join the academy for no adventure, so at least I can cheers to that I have adventure.
That's true, and once you get home after surviving this, I'm sure you can take whatever home has to throw at you.
I'm sure Atera isn't going to be a lone star. I'm pretty sure. Well, I mean, how worse could it get?
I would be very careful saying that.
Oh, well, I hope you're wrong.
About maybe another round of drinks and perhaps some food so your hangover's not as bad in the morning. I do have some stories of interesting plants you might find entertaining.
Oh, please.
Tales of Adventure is directed and produced by me, Brianna Toiber, as part of Pseudonym Social, a creative podcast network. The music is by Patrick Chester of Chester Studios. To see more of his work, visit his website at chesterstudios.net. Find out more about Pseudonym Social by visiting our website at pseudonymsocial.wordpress.com. If you like what I'm doing and would like to support this podcast, please go to patreon.com/pseudonymsocial and choose one of the tiers connected to Tales of Adventure. You can also leave a review on iTunes to make our show easier to find for those who need it.